Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is your man D Real coming at you with another Be Real with D Real, where edutainment is what I do. Every now and then, I'll take a break from the nerd, blur, T'Challa movies, this, that, and the other, and deal with a social issue. Why? Because sometimes I feel social issues are pertinent to everybody, not just the folks that don't follow social issues. And I figure as average, ordinary, everyday nerds, we ain't tripping, and this is to my black nerds in particular. And I just want y'all to pay attention. What is it? Hold up, before I tell you what it is, we got to do what we always do. Comment, like, subscribe, and share to the Be Real with D Real page so that when new alerts come out, you get them. Like this one right here, if you're digging, what up, brother shoveling? Put some dirt in my bucket, comment, like, subscribe, and share to the page. Let's get some reference. Okay, this story comes to us courtesy of NPR. It was July 9th. I needed a little time to marinate before I brought it to you. So I've marinated on it and I'm going to bring it to you. Arizona's governor signed a law that limits filming police. What? Let's get in there. Now, this picture, this image here, this is police officers out in front of the police headquarters in Arizona after protests with George Floyd in 2020. Arizona's governor, well, let me let y'all follow along. Arizona's governor has signed a law that restricts how the public can video police at a time when there's growing pressure across the U.S. for greater law enforcement transparency. Oh, exactly. Civil rights and media groups oppose the measure that Republican Governor Doug Ducey signed Thursday. That would have been July 7th. The law makes it illegal in Arizona to knowingly video police officers 8 feet or closer without an officer's permission. Someone on private property with the owner's consent can also be ordered to stop recording if a police officer finds they are interfering or the area is not safe. We're going to come back to that. The penalty is a misdemeanor that would likely incur a fine without jail time. There's some of us willing to risk that. There needs to be a law that protects officers from people who either have very poor judgment or sinister motives, said Republican Rep. John Kavanaugh, the bill's sponsor. Of course, a Republican sponsored it. I'm also convinced that a very reasonable law that promotes the safety of police officers and those involved in police stops and bystanders has been signed into law, Kavanaugh said Friday. It promotes everybody's safety, yet still allows people to reasonably videotape police activity, as is their right. And here comes the other part. The DOJ launched a probe into Phoenix police use of force nearly a year ago. The move comes nearly a year after the U.S. Department of Justice launched a widespread probe into the police force in Phoenix to examine whether officers have been using excessive force and abusing people experiencing homelessness. It's similar to other investigations opened in recent months in Minneapolis and Louisville. I don't know about Louisville, but we know Minneapolis, them cops is fucking people up, period. The Phoenix Police Department, which oversees the nation's 5th largest city, bet you didn't know that, thank you, edutainment, has been criticized in recent years for its use of force, which disproportionately affects Black and Native American residents. Boom. The law has left opponents like K.M. Bell, staff attorney for the American Civil Liberties Union of Arizona, incredulous. That means that K.M. Bell had a WTF moment in response to this law. Federal appellate courts have already ruled that recording police is a clearly established right, according to Bell. The law won't work in real life scenarios. We're talking about people in public and a place they have a right to be. We're not talking about like somebody breaking into the National Security Agency. Kavanaugh, who was a police officer for 20 years, amended the legislation so it applies to certain types of police actions, including questioning of suspects and encounters involving mental or behavioral health issues. The law also makes exceptions for people who are the direct subject of police interaction. They can film as long as they are not being arrested or searched. Someone who is in a car stopped by police or is being questioned can also film the encounter. Those exceptions were based upon input from all sorts of people, including the ACLU. Okay. In the few minutes that we have left, y'all, let's unpack this. Okay, so basically, in Arizona, under specific circumstances, you cannot film the police. If the police say that this is an unsafe situation, or they feel like you doing some stuff you ain't got no business doing. I believe the article referred to that as sinister motives. Okay. Question. What do the police have to be afraid of from simply being filmed? How I can understand if somebody's right on a police officer's back with their phone filming, I can see how that would be, because you're potentially in a position to do something to that police officer. I can see that. But if I'm like 8 feet away, I should be able to just go ham. 8 feet ain't a lot if you think about it. 8 feet is less than the distance from the ground to a basketball hoop. That's not a lot of distance. So I wouldn't say get bent out of shape about that, because I could see a lot in 8 feet. You know what I'm saying? This room I'm in is about 8 feet wide. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a lot of distance. So I don't, on the one hand, I could see, okay, 8 feet ain't a big deal, or 2 meters. Okay. But if there's not an issue with someone filming a police officer during the execution of his duties, why do we even have to enact a law like that? I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you why I think. Because we thought that giving police officers body cams was going to solve the problem of Native Americans and Black folks getting their asses whooped by police officers, but we haven't told police officers you can't turn off your body cam. I don't give a damn what's happening, Officer Friendly. You can't turn off your body cam. I don't care what's happening. Let me say that again. You can't turn off your body cam. Now, if we had a law like that once that body cam comes on, and I think some states are like that, but once that body cam comes on and you on duty, you can't turn that bitch off. You see what I'm saying? Because if I can, I'm going to the bathroom, I'm turning my body cam off. Okay, that I can see. I don't want to see no officers willy or they cooch or nothing like. Did I say cooch? I'm sorry. I apologize. The JJ is what I mean. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, so yeah, I get that part. But you in the execution of your duties, that camera should 150% be on at all times. And the dash cam shouldn't be turned off at all. You know what I'm saying? But we always make these exceptions for police officers. Do the police need to be policed? Depends on who you ask. Who am I gonna call when I have an issue? Nobody. I'm gonna call Smith and Wesson. I'm gonna call my homies because I know we gonna be able to handle a situation like that the way it needs to be handled. Now, police show up. That's one thing. Why am I on this tangent? I don't know. Because Black people and Native American people don't feel the same way about police as white people do. You don't believe me? Ask any Native American or Black person when a police officer gets behind him and turns on those red and blues. Does this law make sense? Is this law justified? Does this law help police officers? Does this law hurt us? Drop it in the comments. And as always, I'll be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good. Be good to each other.